things I did about in the middle of my research was I went to Twin Oaks Community Conference in Louisa, Virginia. And this is about an hour away from Charlottesville, basically in the middle of nowhere. And with this community conference, it brought people from all sorts of different communities together to do a couple things. One, just to talk about issues. What sort of issues were people having in their communities? What sort of problems did they want to solve? But it also gave people a chance to, each community member had an opportunity to get up and they had 60 seconds to tell about their community and advertise it. So it was a great sharing opportunity for people to come and learn about different communities, talk about their own. There were people from large communities and people who were, maybe one person who had a piece of land and wanted people to come. So it was a huge variety, but what it allowed me to see was all of the different variety of community there. And one of the things that really changed my approach to the project at that point was a number of those people were in their 50s and above, both in communities and looking for communities. And when I started this project, I was really focused on issues about food, issues about sustainability. And somewhere in the middle of this time, in the middle of my research, particularly at this time around the Communities Conference, I realized that the whole concept of intentional community had all sorts of other benefits around social sustainability, about how do we deal with, how are we going to live as we age? There were a number of people who were up there talking during some of the first night, during the open night talk. They were talking about people over 55. What happens when you've got this whole crowd of people living isolated in their houses and not having the kind of social lives that they might like? And so there's a lot of discussion about home sharing, about co-housing, different opportunities. And that changed my approach to the whole project. And it took me a little bit out of some of the physical aspects of the book in terms of how do we achieve sustainability, but what does it mean in terms of our social lives? And another thing that was fascinating in that trip, during the Twin Oaks Community Conference, we had a chance to go visit the Twin Oaks community itself. And we were asked not specifically not to go on our own, but only to go on tours because it's a small community that people want their privacy. And this is a fascinating community in terms of big questions in the United States. So the Twin Oaks is an older community, it's been around for 40 or 50 years, and it's a commune. It's literally communism with a small c. It's income sharing, meaning that when you go, you don't give up your assets, but everyone shares income. You either work for the community, or you work, or you might work outside, but then your wages will come back to the community. And it brought up a lot of questions about what does it mean to be middle class? What does it mean to be, what do we think about sharing items? Our tour guide had an interesting explanation for things. I mean, most of us in the United States, we like to have our own cars, right? You think you need to have your own car. He said the definition for him of owning a car, owning in quotes, is they had carpool. Nobody had their own car or a bicycle, but if you wanted one, you signed up for it. And if you were able to sign up at almost the last minute and have access to things, even if it wasn't your own car, did that count as owning or not? And it really pushed me to think about the limits of a sharing economy. They shared basically everything. If you sign up to get into this community, you have to answer what they call the 100 questions interview. They ask all sorts of questions about your life, how many children you plan to have, what your health status is. All these questions that most of us would find extremely intrusive. I think most of us just would not want to answer those. But the other side of that is that once you're in that community, they take care of everything. If your kid needs to go to college, that community takes care of it. If you have cancer, people will take care of you. In fact, we went on a tour of a little medical wing, which they built because one of the people in that community had cancer, and they wanted to take care of that person and provide hospice care as long as that person lived. And in that community, everybody is required to work about 40 hours a week. And they count all sorts of different things as labor. It's not just paid labor, but taking palliative care, for example, would count. Working in the